Trump's money just snapped, and the Supreme Court pulled the trigger. Let's get straight to it. No warm-up, no small talk. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States didn't just share arguments. They opened the vault. 3 landmark cases, all about subpoenas, all about Donald Trump's personal financial records. And here's the scary part for Trump. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about money. And money never lies. Because while lawyers were arguing constitutional theory inside the Supreme Court, outside, Trump's financial empire was doing that thing in cartoons where the character runs off a cliff and doesn't fall until they look down. And then, boom. This is a moment Trump's entire business persona starts collapsing in real time. Let me explain why this is a financial DEFCON 1. For decades, Trump sold one story. I'm rich. I'm brilliant. Banks love me. That story worked until receipts showed up. And those receipts, they came from Deutsche Bank. Yes, the same bank that kept lending Trump money when every American bank said, absolutely not. Why? Because Deutsche Bank believed Trump's financial statements. Turns out they were lies. Inflated property values, fantasy numbers, golf courses were triple their real value, buildings magically growing square footage like they're on edge. And now that courts have ruled it was fraud, banks can do something very simple, very legal, and very terrifying. They can say, give us our money now. Not later, not when loans mature, not after the election. Right now. Let's talk numbers, because numbers are the most brutal comedians on earth. Trump's Doral Golf Resort loan, $425 million. Actual value found by the court, $78 million. That's not optimistic accounting. That's not creative math. That's a financial version of showing up to TSA with a fake passport made in Microsoft Paint. So Deutsche Bank looks at that and says, cool, fraud voids the contract, pay us. And here's the problem for Trump. He can't refinance, he can't borrow, he can't sell fast enough. And now courts are seizing properties to pay New York's massive fraud judgment. So the collateral banks were counting on, it's disappearing. That's when lenders panic. That's when they all call loans at the same time. And that's how empires die. Now add gasoline to this fire. Trump isn't just some random billionaire in trouble. He is the president. That means banks demanding money from him aren't just creditors. They're potential leverage over the most powerful office on earth. That's not just embarrassing. That's a national security nightmare. Because imagine this headline. President owes hundreds of millions. Lenders apply pressure. The founding fathers didn't fight a revolution for America to be run by a guy getting Venmo requests from international banks. That's why the Constitution literally warns against this exact scenario. A president financially compromised is a president who can be pressured. And Trump knows that. That's why he's melting down on Truth Social. He's screaming about conspiracies, claiming banks are out to get him, calling it persecution. But this isn't persecution. This is consequence. Banks don't care about vibes. They care about risk. And fraud is radioactive. Now, here's where it gets brutal. New York's Attorney General is already seizing assets to satisfy the fraud judgment. That means rental income gone, bank accounts intercepted. So even if Trump wanted to pay lenders, New York gets first dibs, which means banks are racing each other like it's a Black Friday sale. Except instead of TVs, it's Trump's remaining assets. That triggers something called cross-default clauses. Translation, miss one payment and suddenly everything explodes. One default becomes all defaults. That's not a problem. That's a cascade failure. And no, bankruptcy doesn't save him. Because bankruptcy plus fraud findings is equal to judge saying, sir, absolutely not. Plus filing bankruptcy while president, that's not a reset. That's a resignation speedrun. Politically, this is devastating. Trump's entire brand is business genius. What happens when banks publicly say, we don't trust you, pay up? What happens when Republicans have to defend a president who can't manage his own money? Donors flee. Candidates distance themselves. The base fractures. And Democrats, they don't even need attack ads. They just roll the tape. And remember where this all started. The Supreme Court. Those subpoenas could force Trump's financial records into daylight. Tax returns, loan agreements, foreign entanglements. Once that curtain lifts, there's no unseeing it. This isn't about left versus right anymore. This is about reality versus the myths. And the myth of Trump as a billionaire mastermind, it's cracking loudly. So let's be clear. This isn't a bad news cycle. This isn't spin. This is a financial reckoning. Banks are done. Courts are done. And gravity is undefeated. Trump built his empire on inflated numbers. Now the numbers are calling him back with interest. And that is how power collapses. Stay tuned.